Hey guys, what is up? Skylar here, and there are some brand new solo challenges that I highly recommend you guys do. So these are in the weekly, or I guess limited time, is what it's called now. But we have these NFL Predictor Playoff Wild Card games. There's two of them against Pittsburgh and Green Bay. So Pittsburgh are down by 14 in the second quarter. That one's not too difficult because it is on pro setting, and as long as you have at least an okay team, you guys can easily get that one done. Green Bay, a lot harder on all pro, and I will warn you guys, Pittsburgh game, Le'Veon Bell is an absolute monster. It's still on pro, but holy, that dude, one of these plays, I had to restart the game because he literally broke 5 tackles and ran it like 85 yards for a touchdown, and I had to restart the game, and that was pretty annoying. And this one you got to watch out for freaking Jordy Nelson because he catches everything and he will burn your receivers. But you do those and you guys get 8 predictor badges for doing each of those, and that's what this video is going to be, me using these predictor badges and basically making my predictions for the wild card. So let's go ahead and jump into the predictor set. Alright, starting it off, I believe each one of those things gave you 4 false and 4 true claims. So you actually can trade true to false or false to true, so that's pretty cool. So Texans win. A correct pick is worth 750 coins, and this locks on January 7th at noon. So that is tomorrow. And I do believe the Texans will win this. I believe the Raiders are a better team. However, they are coming in with a rookie quarterback, and that is definitely going to hurt them. So I believe Texans will win. So if I could find a true, let's go ahead and add to that. I'll be very surprised if Connor Cook can actually do something. He was a decent quarterback in college. He went to Michigan State, but I don't know. Alright, Amari Cooper has 100 plus receiving yards. Picking true correctly is worth 1,000 coins. Let me see how many of these are. Hopefully I have enough. I believe I do. I believe they do give you enough to do every single one of these. So I will do those. All right, Amari Cooper, 100 plus receiving yards. That I really don't see that happening, but I'm going to go ahead and say true. And only because I feel like he's going to be the big guy for Connor Cook to target. So Khalil Mack has 1 plus sacks. A correct pick is worth 750 coins. Of course, I'm going to say true to this one. It's a big wild card game. I believe they're playing Savage, so I think he will be able to get back there. The O-line for the Texans isn't the best, so let's go ahead and add a true into this one. Been really happy with the true so far. So let's see here. Lamar Miller, 100 plus rushing yards. I think I'm going to go with true on this one because I feel that they're going to run the ball a lot that game. So let's go ahead and add true to that one as well. I feel like just both sides, this is going to be a very run-happy game, and I think both running backs will have a very good time. Seahawks win. Picking true correctly is worth 750 coins, and a correct false is 1,000 coins. I do believe that the Seahawks will win this one because I do believe that they are the better team. I believe they're, 10-5-1 on the season, and that one could have easily been another win. So I'm going to give them that. Matt Stafford, 250 passing yards. That's an easy yes. So I think I'm actually going to have to go in. I'm doing a lot of true so far because I can definitely see these actually happening. So Russell Wilson has 2 plus passing touchdowns. I honestly think that could happen too. I think I'm actually out of true badges. I am out of true badges. So I have to go back and false to true. Here we are. Alright, so let's add that. Alright, we got this. So I believe Russell Wilson will have 2 touchdowns. I could say almost every quarterback coming into this wildcard game could easily have 2 touchdowns. And I feel like it's the safer route to go. And Yeah, so let's go ahead and go true. Next up, Richard Sherman has 1+ interceptions. He's had a pretty bad off year. I don't believe this is actually going to happen, so I'm going to give this one a false. Yeah, it probably would be smarter to just stick with, you know, true correctly is 750 and false is 1,000. Try to go for the bigger amount, but, you know, so I'm going to have to go back. I believe Pittsburgh will win this game. Pittsburgh's looking like a great team, and you got the big three: Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown. You got a couple more starters just coming off an easy week because they didn't have to play the Brownies last week. We somehow still won that game. I don't know how. If you guys watched that game, oh my god, that was one of the worst games I've ever seen, honestly. And that interception returned by the Browns basically sums up what it's like to be a Browns fan. You know, all this hope, it's like, yes, yes, go, 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 and then he fumbles it on the 1-yard line and Pittsburgh gets the ball back. And I was like, oh my goodness. Oh, I feel so bad for Browns fans. I know quite a few of them in real life, and it doesn't seem fair to them because they're good people. They really are, but I don't know, guys. All right, continuing. Jarvis Landry has 7+ receptions. I'm going to go with false with this one. I feel like we're definitely going to at least. I'm going to see a lot of double coverage with him. You even bringing like Mike Mitchell over there to help him as well. So Le'Veon Bell has 100+ rushing yards. Definitely believe that one is going to happen. So, and that next one looked like Antonio Brown. So I think I'm going to swap 2 of these falses to true because, you know, those 2 are just fantastic. I have both of them on my fantasy team this year, which I'll probably do a video about. Actually, this was the first year I did fantasy football. Ended up winning the championship, so that's pretty exciting. Definitely going to do it next year, and if I do come out with that video, I'll probably have an announcement about next year's fantasy draft that you guys may end up liking. So I believe this one was the Le'Veon Bell, so let's go ahead and give that a true. Yep, that was. Okay. And then going down, Antonio Brown, 1+ reception touchdowns. Of course, you know, he's going to be the #1 target for Mr. Big Ben. And even if the game comes down to the last few plays, even the very last play, they're going to target him. All right, Green Bay versus the Giants. I'm picking Green Bay to win this one because Green Bay has just been, you know, on a roll lately. And I feel like basically most of the players in Green Bay really didn't care about the season, and then somebody stepped up and was like, oh, hey, you guys got to win out to even have a chance at the playoffs. And they're like, oh, crap. So, you know, Aaron Rodgers coming out being Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, we're going to run the table. And they do. And now they're in the playoffs, which is insane. You can, if you had to pick one clutch quarterback in the NFL, I don't think you could, you know, get past Aaron Rodgers. You know, there's a bunch of other great quarterbacks in the NFL, but if you want the clutchest, if that's a word, quarterback in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers is your go-to guy. It's insane how many games this guy has won, you know, just making plays out of nothing or just throwing up Hail Marys. You know, you guys seen last year what he was like with Hail Marys, especially that freaking Detroit game. Holy crap. And, oh my goodness, that dude's an absolute monster. The thing about Aaron Rodgers is he can make plays out of nothing. You know, the line collapses and he's running all over the place and he can still find people downfield and still get away from blocks and get out of tackles and other things like that. So Aaron Rodgers has 3+ passing touchdowns. I want to go ahead and the correct pick is worth 2,000 coins. Alright, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to say that will be true because passing game is really big for Green Bay, and I could see all 3 of those passing touchdowns going to Jordy Nelson because that dude's an absolute beast. And, you know, I believe it was the Vikings game. I'm pretty sure it was the Vikings game where, you know, he had just an absolute, and the cornerbacks didn't listen to the coach's game plan to cover him. with the proper person, and he just roasted past them. So I feel like he's got high confidence in himself, and Jordy Nelson's always a target for Rodgers. So be looking forward to that. Eli Manning has 250 plus passing yards. I think I'm going to go with a true on this one as well. So let's go back and let's go in here. Switch that to a true. I have a lot of true, so I'm going to recap real quick before or after we pick our last 2 picks here. So let's go ahead and go to the bottom. Giants at Packers. Eli Manning has 250 plus passing yards. That is a very Manning thing like to do, so I'm going to say true. And I saw an Odell Beckham for that last one. Let's see what Odell Beckham has 1+ receiving touchdowns. I'm going to go ahead and go true with this one because, like I said with Jordy Nelson, Beckham is the best wide receiver the Giants have, and he's the go-to guy for them. So this I'm pretty confident with most of these picks. They can happen, and I believe they probably will happen because Odell Beckham Jr. He'll probably make some insane, really not needed one-handed catch in the end zone. It's nice and all that he can make these one-handed catches, but it's going to end up screwing him over at some point because he's going to go for the one-handed catch instead of using both hands to make sure it's secured, and it's not going to look good for him. All right, so quick recap. Texans win, of course. Even if they would bring Osweiler in to start, I think they could still win. The confidence of making the playoffs is definitely going to help out. Osweiler, bad season, but just being able to tell yourself, oh hey, I'm in the playoffs, I have to be clutch. I think he can still do it. And even if they have Tom Savage in, I think they could still do it because he does look like a pretty decent quarterback. The Raiders side, Derek Carr getting knocked out, breaking his leg is definitely going to hurt. And I don't even know who their backup was. He was out too. You got the rookie Connor Cook stepping up and starting. He could do wonders. The Raiders could still win this game. They're still a very talented team, and if he can be successful passing the ball, this could definitely be a Raiders game. I just see the Texans doing it because I feel like if they apply pressure to a rookie quarterback, he's going to make some mistakes. So Amari Cooper has 100+ receiving yards. I believe I clicked true on this one as well. Yes, I did, because Amari Cooper is just going to be the go-to target for Cook. If it doesn't matter which quarterback the Raiders have in, Amari Cooper is your go-to guy. Khalil Mack, 1+ sacks. Definitely see that one happening because that dude is just an absolute monster. He should definitely win Defensive Player of the Year because he definitely deserves it. Lamar Miller, 100+ rushing yards. Like I said earlier, I do believe that this game is going to be a heavy rushing game, so there's going to be a lot of running going on, and 100+ yards for a running back anymore really isn't that hard to do, and a lot of them are getting that by halftime anymore, and that could definitely happen. Seahawks win. I do predict Seahawks to win. Lions are looking pretty rough lately. Really surprised that they made it in the playoffs. I think they're like 9-7 in the wild cards. I would be disappointed if I was any other team if the Lions end up making the Super Bowl somehow, starting 9-7 going into the playoffs. That would not be good. So Stafford, 250+ passing yards easily, I believe. The Lions, they have had a couple rough games, but Stafford, I believe he is an elite quarterback, and he will get stuff done. I do believe there will be a lot of passing yards, but I don't think the Lions will score a lot. So they're going to, have to rely on their kicker a lot this game. But I do believe that they are still going to get those passing yards. 250 yards from an elite quarterback in 4 quarters, easily. I think he can definitely do that. Russell Wilson, 2+ passing touchdowns. Think he can do this as well. They just picked up Devin Hester. I don't know if he's going to actually just play wide receiver, or if he's just going to do kick returns and whatnot. That adds another target because they lost Tyler Lockett to a leg injury, and add depth to that wide receiver chart, and I easily could see this happening. I could even see Russell Wilson running a couple in, or at least one in. Richard Sherman, this one could definitely go either way. It really depends on how well he plays. He really hasn't been a top cornerback in my eyes so far this season, but who knows? He could definitely step up in the playoffs. Steelers win, I believe so. If as long as they can stop Ajayi, you know, they're set, because he's basically the Dolphins' offense. And I believe they did announce that Matt Moore will be starting, so you guys don't have to worry about Tannehill. I don't even know. I think Tannehill's injury was a knee injury, but don't quote me on that. Jarvis Landry, 7+ receptions. I don't know, because, you know, I get that he's one of their go-to guys, but I feel like they're definitely going to, you know, spread it out a little bit more. A lot of running the ball from the Dolphins' point. And I think Pittsburgh should do that as well. You know, you have Le'Veon Bell, so, you know, use him and abuse him, and same with the Dolphins. So, 7+ receptions, I don't know. You know, there's been a lot of, you know, big-time receivers this year that, you know, have games where, you know, they don't even go with reception, or if they get one, they get like 1 or 2. Antonio Brown's had a couple of those games, and, you know, it's hard to say, you know, 7+ receptions. It depends on how clutch, you know, Landry can start being, and if he can get on a roll in the first half, you know, they definitely target him some more. So, Le'Veon Bell, 100+ rushing yards, easily do this. I could see him getting that by halftime, like I said earlier. A lot of running backs are doing that now, and, you know, one that's really good at it is Ezekiel Elliott. You know, I really wanted to see Zeke break that rookie rushing record, but he didn't quite do it, and they had him sit out the very last game. But there was games where, you know, Zeke went into the locker room already having, you know, 80, 90 yards rushing, and then only having like 9 yards the second half because they just didn't use him. And, you know, if they were to actually use him like they did the first half, you know, he could have 200, if not break a record and get 300 rushing yards. So, you know, and Le'Veon Bell could easily do that as well, because Le'Veon Bell is the same caliber as Zeke, if not better. I do believe he is better, but personal opinion. Antonio Brown, super clutch. He can definitely get at least 1 receiving touchdown. He's definitely going to. So, be looking forward to that. Packers win easily. They're on a roll. Packers can somehow get past Jenkins on defense. I think they'll be golden, because that dude's an absolute monster. But never count Aaron Rodgers out. I don't care if they're down 28-0. That man can do the unthinkable, and he will throw a Hail Mary every play and score on every play. Aaron Rodgers, 3+ passing touchdowns. Like I said, you know, the reason Green Bay is so good is because the quarterback with the arm. Aaron Rodgers, to me, is probably the best quarterback in the NFL right now. I know his stats this year, you know, they've been pretty good, and they could have been better, yeah, but to me, you know, he's the elite quarterback. You know, I guess Brady would probably be top, but I could definitely say Rodgers is number 2. Eli Manning, 250+ passing yards. Like I said, you know, he's also an elite quarterback. Don't know how many more, you know, seasons he's going to be in the NFL. So he wants to get that, you know, Super Bowl win before he gets out of the NFL, and he wants, you know, make a name for the Giants. So a lot of passing coming from Eli Manning, because he is a good quarterback. And, you know, if he can manage to throw to somebody else other than Odell, you know, he could easily have 250 passing yards, you know, because people are definitely going to be guarding Odell. So that'll open up other passing lanes for other receivers and tight ends and whatnot. Odell Beckham, 1+ receiving yards or touchdowns easily. You know, like I said earlier, he'll probably make one, you know, some like one-handed, you know, crazy, you know, catch or something. Or something Odell's really good at is pretending it's a slant and cutting upfield and just burning past, you know, the cornerback. If there's no safety help, you know, Odell is just going to blow past anybody, and that's an easy touchdown. You know, Manning always makes sure he sees Beckham on the field whenever he snaps the ball, to make sure that if it's available, the ball is going to him. So there's the NFL Predictor. I may do this again next week. Let me know in the comments below if you guys enjoyed this video. And let me know what you guys think. And, you know, if you guys get 16 of 16 correct picks, you guys get 50,000 coins. So that's pretty cool. I actually just read that. You know, that's pretty awesome. So cross my fingers. It'll be pretty difficult to get 16 out of 16. I feel like you should get more coins than if you do end up doing that. But who knows? So let me know in the comments below what your guys' picks were, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'm going to definitely look forward to some football this weekend.